Hey YouTube, how the heck you doing? I'm doing great and I hope you are too. I was going over my past videos on my saltwater tank of my series, so you want to do a saltwater tank, and I realized I hadn't covered too much in a while, so I thought I'd start that up again for the year 2019 and see what I can bring to you. So today I'm going to cover the flow inside your tank, and that's probably one of the key important things too, aside from the quality of the water and everything else that you may be inputting into it as far as lighting and everything that I've already covered. But flow is important too, because you don't want to get any dead areas in your tank. That's where its circulation can't get to the detritus or detritus that's sitting on the bottom of your tank from the fish pooping or peeing in the water or uneaten food. You don't want that sitting too long, because that raises up your nitrates and nitrates, and that just throws your whole tank out of balance. So you want to make sure you have a nice flow. And I started out with a few corrali heads. They're simple ones. They pretty much stick inside the tank, or some can do hang-on tanks where you hang it down from like clips and stuff into your tank. And I did that for quite a while, and they do work good, but eventually they do die out. But since they are sitting inside the tank water, eventually they do accumulate minerals and stuff that keeps them from working properly. The motor's inside there too, so that has a tendency to raise your temperature in your water depending on the season too. In the wintertime, you probably don't have that problem, but in the summer when things are hot and you're trying to keep the house cool or whatever, you're going to see that increase in temperature from your little corrales that are in there. So I've moved over to using the Vortec by Ecotech, which is also the same people that gave me the Radion light that I've used in transitions from my other lights too. But I found that it's a very nice pump. Actually, the only part that's inside your water that would affect the water would be the propeller itself. The actual motor and everything is outside of the glass and held on there by magnets, so you don't get that temperature increase by your motor being in the water column. And it gives me the flow that I need inside my tank. So let's go here, look at my little tank here. So there's my Vortec. I got it attached to the glass. As you can see, the motor is outside of the glass, and the propeller or the flow that for the water is inside there. I have it turned off right now because the noise of my overflow hang-on back does get a little noisy, so I didn't want to interfere that with you guys here. But as you can see, I'm having a little algae problem there, a little green, nothing bad. That's about almost a week and a half that's accumulated, so it's in check as far as I can tell. And I got my corals growing pretty good. I even started a frag area here. That's right here. I broke a couple frags off the big one right there and put it on a little frag mounting that it could also magnetically adhere to the back of the tank. So that's doing pretty good. But what you want to do is get a nice flow, and a lot of times you got to figure out exactly what kind of flow you need for your tank, because you want a certain circulation. Like I said, you don't want any dead areas down in the corners here or that corner. And this one gives me pretty much good flow. It goes straight across and then flows down to here, but I have probably dead areas here, so every once in a while I do shift the sand and I vacuum the sand up when I do my cleaning, so that keeps the detritus from accumulating into that area. But otherwise, I get very good flow. As you can see, my corals are all happy. They're enjoying the nice lighting that they get from my LED. And like I said, I didn't start with the LED. You may not be able to start with that. You may start with T5s or halides or power compacts. You can, and with the price of LEDs coming down, you might be able to get into the LEDs. They are coming down and becoming more affordable. But I like this flow, my propeller here by the Ecotech. It's the Vortec, like I said. This one is also compatible with their system as far as Wi-Fi, so I can adjust it through an app on my phone. I can set it up to do pretty much anything I want. When I want to do a feeding, I can go to my app and set it for feeding. It slows the pump down to 50%, so the flow isn't as drastic, and the food will sit in the water column a little bit longer, and they're able to get to their food easier than if they were chasing it around the tank. So I just want to do a quick coverage on the water flow as far as what you would want for your tank. I'm sure with your research and everything, you'll come across what your fish would require and your corals would require as far as flow and everything. Some corals like a low moderation flow, some like a higher output flow. So that would depend on where you put them in your column in your tank too. The lower ones don't get as much light, may not get enough flow too, depending on how your things are. Middle ground, they get a little bit more light and probably a little more flow, and then the higher up you obviously would get the most light and mostly a lot of flow too, depending on, because you do want a little turbulence at the top of your water area there, because that helps mix the water and promote the oxygen to get mixed into the water column. So you do want to have a good flow. I would recommend the Vortex if you can afford it. If not, go a little cheap and find what you can use for your situation until you can step it up to the Vortex or something to similar to those. I haven't really researched them since I had this one. This was probably 15 years old now, so it's been going strong, and I like how it works and everything, and it's very easy to clean. All I have to do is take out the propeller part from the tank when I do my weekly or double weekly cleanings, and just rinse it off. If I have a lot of coralline that says grown on it, which is the red not algae but red coralline, I can just dump it in some white vinegar, leave it in there, and it takes all that off, and it's like it's a brand new blade ready to go and flowing again. So that is what I wanted to cover for you guys. I'm going to try to do some more things of So You Want a Saltwater Tank series as far as that. Let me know down below what you'd like to see and what other updates you want to see on my tank here. It's, like I said, it's been going good. I've had those blue cloves pretty much all over the tank now. You probably saw that in there. And they're not disturbing any of my other corals, so although they are pretty, I don't want to say a nuisance coral, a lot of people don't like them. I've become accustomed to seeing them all over my rocks, so I don't mind it. And they're not disturbing my other corals or, encroaching on their properties and killing them off. So I don't mind it for now, but we'll see how that goes. But hope you enjoyed this short one. I will see you next time on So You Want a Saltwater Tank, and I hope you have a good one, guys. See you later.